But this is just one of those amazing days where, like, the news, A, won't stop, and B, it keeps sort of driving home the same point over and over again. I mean, when it comes to using your public position for private gain, today the Washington Post was first to report that the president and his family just pocketed a few $1 million from the sale of this property in Beverly Hills, California. Now, it's obviously a very nice place. It's apparently like 5,000 square feet. It's in Beverly Hills, swimming pools, movie stars. And this is an expensive property President Trump owned in Beverly Hills. President Trump bought it 12 years ago in 2007 for $7 million. But you know what? Property is often a good investment. That property has gone up in value. Last year, it was assessed by Los Angeles County to have appreciated significantly in value. It appreciated by over $1 million, right? It was a $7 million purchase when President Trump bought it in 2007, $7 million. Last year, it was assessed at $8.3 million. It's gone up. Last year, assessed at $8.3 million. Turns out he just sold it for $13.5 million. Hold on a second. That's almost double what he paid for it, and it's a 63% hike over its assessed value from just last year. Why did somebody just radically overpay the president for that property in Los Angeles? The Washington Post even contacted local experts to find out if maybe there was something going on here that made sense in real estate terms that wouldn't make sense to the rest of us just from looking at the basic math. Turns out, nope. The chief executive of a luxury homes real estate agent local to the area tells the Post, quote, "Seems a little rich, to be perfectly frank, unless there is something spectacular about this house that I am missing." I don't think it's anything about the house that you're missing here. I mean, what may be missing in terms of understanding the very, very inexplicably generous price that was paid for this property could be nothing about the house itself, could be who owns it and who's buying. The house is owned by the president. We now know it was bought by an Indonesian politician, somebody who ran for vice president in 2014 in Indonesia, and according to the Post, he is considering running for president of Indonesia very soon. What better way, if you're going to run for president of a foreign country, right? What better way to cultivate the affections of a very important, very influential international ally? What better way to cultivate the interest, influence, and favor of the leader of the free world than just by stuffing several $1 million into his pocket? The Post further reports that the sale was conducted off-market, which means other people were not involved in bidding on this thing. And of course, if it were involved in open market bidding, that would be one way to tell whether or not this was actually a fair market value for this property. But conducted off market, so it was a closed sale, one bidder. And of course, the money really does just go to the president, because he never divested himself from his businesses or his business holdings, nor did he ever set up anything like a blind trust so he wouldn't know who was paying him for stuff. So that just happened. I mean, it's been that kind of day. The White House today rejected advice from a federal ethics watchdog that Kellyanne Conway should be fired, should be removed from federal service for repeatedly violating the law that says you cannot, while you are a public servant, campaign for individual candidates or try to influence elections. She had repeatedly broken that law, according to this ethics watchdog, a federal agency that oversees the implementation of the Hatch Act, which bars that sort of thing. She'd repeatedly broken it. They assessed her conduct after they had repeatedly warned about her previous illegal actions of this kind. The White House is blowing it off and denouncing the agency for having suggested that she should be fired for breaking that law. What a stupid law. I mean, this is one of those days that just kind of reminds you how far you can slide as a country over a short period of time when there really aren't brakes to stop a determined president from blowing up all these norms that we thought were permanent things. Even though Susan Rice was National Security Advisor as recently as 2.5 years ago, because of how far we have slid in the meantime, Susan Rice literally at this point feels like a visitor from another planet. But I'm happy to put on my spacesuit and meet her here next. Stay with us.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.